Now I'd like to invite Governor Pritzker back to the podium for Q&A.
Thank you,
Governor.
Happy to take any questions from members of the media. Olivia.
I had one on-topic maybe for Deborah or maybe for you. It was basically just, you said that most of the IRA money will be obligated by the end of Biden's time in office. With that said, like, what would rolling back the IRA under Trump mean if the money's already kind of out? Does that make sense?
Well, as I understand it, if it's obligated, then it's there. I was in Minnesota yesterday, which received nearly $200 million through Climate Pollution Reduction Grant. It's in their bank account now. And so we are working really hard to make sure that the $431 million coming to Illinois from the CPRG and the $90 million plus from Clean Ports is going to be in their accounts, and it can't be taken back.
So if a Republican Congress and the Trump administration does like repeal the Inflation Reduction Act, what would that actually mean like in next year?
Yeah, I can't speak to what might happen. We are just working as hard as possible to make sure that those funds that Congress allocated get dispersed and deployed in a way that makes a difference in people's lives.
Could I respond to that? My electric bill is $15 a month because I decided 2 years ago to use this Inflation Readjustment Act to put solar panels on my home. There's a tax break associated with it that made it make sense to me and my family. That's the type of thing they will try to repeal, so that there's less investment in solar panels, heat pumps, cars, for example, electric cars. So that's what we fear. These projects, and I asked over and over again, Deborah and other people, are obligated, and the money's already been pushed through the process as it should be. So I think this money is safe, fingers crossed.
Yeah, Sarah.
Question probably for both you and Senator Durbin. Can you just react to RFK Jr. as the nominee for?
You want me to go first?
You're all great at that. But first, for Governor Pritzker, is there anything Illinois can do proactively to, in case there is something that happens with vaccines or they're no longer mandated, is there anything the state can do proactively to make sure people are safe?
I want to remind you that the last Trump administration was no help in terms of making sure that we got people vaccinated, and there were a lot of obstacles that administration put in the place, and yet we did it in the state of Illinois. And look, I'd rather do it with the help of the federal government. Usually, the White House and the federal government are in a national emergency are on your side, helping because we're all their constituents, right? So I can't tell you what God forbid if we end up in another emergency like that, or where we need help, exactly how they're going to operate. But I can tell you that at least in the state of Illinois, we figured out a number of methods of just getting the work done anyway. Look, there are vaccine support programs that the federal government operates. In fact, my predecessor pulled us out in 2017 or 16 from the vaccine, interestingly, when we actually needed more vaccines, not less. And so we didn't get the benefit of that federal program when the measles outbreak came, which was right in the early part of my first term. But we figured it out. We rejoined the program, and whether we had or not, we would have provided those measles vaccines. I think there are challenges ahead, but we'll work through them.
Health and Human Services is a life and death agency. In that agency are Food and Drug Administration to make sure that what we buy and eat is safe, new drugs to make sure that they are safely dispensed to the American public, the National Institutes of Health, the leading health research agency in the world. When we look at this and all the other CDC, we understand that this is one of the most important and sensitive appointments that a president can make. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. may be qualified in some areas. He is totally unqualified for this job. He is engaged in quack science and crazy theories right and left and drawn a lot of attention because of it. I fear this man is going to bring those same ideas to the administration of this life and death agency, and that would be a disaster.
What can he legally do? I mean, you know, I mean.
Well, you
I know
can.
He's saying he's gonna gut NIH, but I mean, what can he?
Well,
without
he-
Without Congress, what can he?
You can slow things down. You can make sure things don't happen. You can start questioning things that the American people take for granted. For 70 years, we put fluoride in our drinking water, believing that reducing cavities in our teeth was a good outcome and it was safe to do so. Now he's raising questions, maybe that's dangerous. Well, you start peddling these theories around the United States, and guess what's going to happen in social media? They're going to be picked up and become gospel truth to a lot of people. You need responsible leadership when it comes to matters of life and death and health and science. And I'm afraid he's not the person I expect to be peddling that kind of message.
You can see why I feel lucky we have a great senior senator. Olivia.
Still surprised that they're
Oh, yes, yeah. You're much in demand.
I believe you told one of my colleagues that the change in who's in the majority affects your decision on whether you would run for re-election. Does the possibility of Matt Gaetz as Attorney General also affect that, since you're on the Judiciary Committee?
The possibility of backing the Attorney General?
Of Matt Gaetz as Attorney General?
Well, just the opposite is true. Here's another man, totally unqualified. Yesterday, I called for the release of the House Ethics Committee report on Congressman Matt Gaetz, which he believed he could resign from Congress and keep from public review. This is a critical part of the question as to whether or not he is worthy to be the leading law enforcement official in the United States of America. I don't think he is, and many Republicans are agreeing with me. So you're asking if those sorts of things discourage me? Just the opposite is true.
Of the nominees so far, who's gonna, are they, I'm sure Gaetz is not gonna make it, but who else, is there anyone else you think that Republicans don't want?
Look, I don't want this to be totally one-sided. Senator Marco Rubio is my friend. We work together on comprehensive immigration reform. We disagree on a lot of political issues, but he is a worthy choice as Secretary of State. And there are others as well. I just want to say I don't know how it will come out, but if the hearings do their job, we'll get to the bottom and ask some basic questions about each of these nominees. Okay.
Thank you.